Alright, so today we're going to talk about Aethersand farming except Agewood. So, as you can see, you can actually buy Aethersands with white scripts, but that is not optimal. What you want to do instead is to gather certain collectibles and then use Aethero reduction on them to get Aethersands, clusters, and crystals. That is by far the most efficient method of farming them. So what you want to do instead right now is actually to go on the third party site. Any site will do really. For example, I use Garden 2 spells, and I think it's a pretty good website, and what you want to do is filter collectibles. So press 5.1 for Shadow Rings. Press mining and go to it. And filter to only ephemeral nodes. And you can add them to your favorites, so that an alarm will tell you when you're ready to collect that collectible. So, as you can see right now, we have 5 seconds before the rock pops, and you see there's an alarm. And we know that it's at the Tika Great Wood, 25.7, 28 per night. And when you hover over this, you can see that it gives you Chiaroglow 8%. So now we want to go there. To the Tika Great Wood. So the prerequisites for this, there's no strict prerequisite, but ideally you want to get maybe a level 70 miner or and botanist before you do 8% farming, because then it'll be much more efficient. If you do it before level 80, it's okay, possible, but it'll be slow. I forgot where it was. Okay, now look at your minimap, and you can see these are regular nodes. There are no 8% on them. But look at your minimap, and you can see that there's like a shiny, glowy node here. So we're gonna go there instead. As you can see, it says level 80 ephemeral mineral deposit. So this is how you know that this is the node you want. When you go in, you see that there's like a gale rock here and water cluster. The gale rock is not really useful. Collecting it directly doesn't really help you. It does nothing for you. What you want to do instead is to use your Scuroglow and use some reprisal actions to get the collectability up before the gathering attempts diminish to 0. Once you exhausted the node, what you should do is, first of all, you need to refresh the node. To do this, just go to 2 different menu deposits that are not side by side with each other. You can just touch and go, so that means that you do not need to collect anything from that node. You can just leave immediately. So we're gonna touch this node, interact, and leave. And as you can see, once you've done that with 2 nodes, they're not side by side with each other. The ephemeral node will pop back up again. Okay, so now what you want to do is use a rotation for ephemeral node collection. Let's use one of the simplest ones is single mine, utmost caution, 3 impulsives, instinctuals, and then single mind, instinctual. This is pretty much the most brain dead rotation that you can do. Once you're done, you can use collect, and what you can see that you get a collectible of a Gale Rock. Press yes, and let's collect again. Oh, we failed that. Now open your inventory and you can see that you now have a Gale Rock collectible. So what you want to do is right click it, press Aether Reduction. This is the purity rate. What it means that if you have 5, 6, 7 or 8 out of 8 purity, you'll be able to get Aethersands from it. The higher the purity, the more Aethersands you get. 5 out of 8 Aethersands is like about a third of Aethersands as 8 out of 8, so you always want to aim for as high a purity as possible. Now press reduce. And you can see that we get some water crystals in clusters. Another way to reduce is to go into actions and traits. And go to general. And you can see that there's a Aether reduction here. And you can drag it onto your hotbar. Like here. And then press it. And if you have collectibles that can be reduced, you can just press it from here. Now let's refresh the node again. What you want to do, once again, is to touch it and just leave. So someone asked the question, is it worth it to gather stuff on these nodes instead of just tapping them and go? It depends on the node really. For example, on this node you have extra effervescent water, and water crystals, and megafauna traces. Megafauna traces are only used for the job quest. Water crystals are not really in demand, and extra effervescent water is only used for the Natron. So I don't think it's worth it in this case. If it's something like dimethrite ore, and dimethrite ores are like worth like 3,000 gil or something, you might be worth it. It's up to you to decide. Check your market points. And now I open this again, but this time I'm not going to actually interact. I'm actually going to leave. The reason for this is because I do not see a note bonus. A note bonus can be gathering attempts plus 1 or gathering attempts plus 2. So instead I'm going to go to 2 different nodes once again to reset the node. And we still do not have a bonus, so I'm just gonna keep doing this. Now we can see that there is a gathering attempts plus 1 node bonus on now. So click into it, use the same rotation. Single mind, utmost caution, instinctual, times 3, This time this collectability is pretty low, it's 349. So what we're gonna do instead is to use Discerning Eye instead of Single Mind. My breakpoint is 360, but it can go 370, 350, 380. The most optimal is around the 360 range. And personally, I don't think it's worth it to use Sharp Vision to get a plus 5%, because it's 99% already. It's really rare to get a dud. It's more you can use a hero reduction here, and these are 8/8, so you can see we got Chiaroglow, Aethersand. We got 8 out of this time because 8 purity is a pretty good collectible. So now what we're going to do is to we want to use High Coordinate. So High Coordinates can be bought with yellow Gatherer scripts, and they speed up your Aethersand farming by a lot. And once again, we're going to reset the node. The node that's almost 4 AM on the Heroes in time. Each ethereal node only lasts for, ephemeral node only lasts for 4 Heroes in hours. As you can see, Garden 2 is sounding the alarm now. We only have 1 minute of real time before this node expires. We got another gathering attempt +1, so I'm gonna use it now. We got 597, that's really good. And once again, use a hero reduction. Sometimes 8/8s can give only crystals and cluster, that's to be expected. Pretty RNG really. So the new node has spawned. Now let's go back to Garland 2 to see what it is. As you can see, the next one is also Raktika Greatwood. This time it's Sweet Marjoram. It also gives Scuroglow. So let's hop onto that now. This time it's Botanist, so we're gonna switch to Botanist. As you can see, this one is real near this forest apple thing. Use your stealth if need be because you don't want to die. We don't have a note bonus yet, so we're going to refresh it. Now, Sweet Elysium and Fern Leaf are pretty low gil items, so they're not really worth it. And our High Cordial cooldown is actually ready now, so we can use it. Now, my GP cap is 808, and we're already nearing it, so now we're actually going to use a rotation even if we don't have gathering attempts plus bonuses, because we don't want to waste our GP. there are two ways you can deal with no bonuses. You could either use a low GP rotation, like a 200 GP rotation when you're capping, or you can use a 600 GP rotation. Either way is fine. The 200 GP rotation works like this. You use Discerning Eye and 3 Instinctual Apprisals. In our case, we got lucky, so we actually have pretty decent collectability. 478. And this is a 5.5, 5.8, and this is 5.22. You only get one because it's a 200 GP rotation after all. Now you reduce this. This is 6.8 now. Get 2 Scuroglows. Let's reset the node. For next is the same. Once again, we don't have no bonus. We could either reset it, or we could actually do what some people do. This is I've calculated it before, and it's about as optimal as just refreshing it out. So the decision is based on 2 variables. One is the time you spend stuck in this green when you collect something. Notice your GP doesn't regenerate, right? So there are 2 philosophies. One is you could either limit this as much as possible. So like when you see no bonuses at all, you can just leave directly immediately. The other one is that you don't want to waste any money. You want to like not spend so much time just resetting and doing nothing. In that case, you could just go into it. You could either use like something low, like 200 GP, or 0 GP rotations. Right. So, for example, a 0 GP rotation would look something like this. Impulsive 2, you got Discerning Eye, and you use an Instinct. And then hit collect. Notice this is 417 collectability, but it jumped to 429 in the end. There's a random increase in collectability once you actually gather the thing. So you don't have to actually reach 550 for 8 out of 8 purity. You could aim for a bit lower and let the RNG take you up there. And reduce, because it's 4.8, you're not going to get any 8% at all. And we got crystals and clusters. Let's do a bit of a full run without explanation, just to let you know what it looks like. So I'm about to cap on GP again, so we'll just treat this as the new one. Now, one thing I didn't talk about is what if you get a node bonus, but you don't actually have the GP required to execute a 600 GP rotation. What I usually do is I look at my GP. If I'm really close to 600, something like above 550, I'll wait a bit. If not, I'll actually just execute the highest GP rotation possible. In this case, it's 400 GP. What you have to do is just eliminate one single one from the rotation episode. Yeah, that's why you always have on stealth. Otherwise you lose that. Ephemeral is gonna expire in like 3 years and more. You can get it. Yeah, it's gone. Anyways, that's how you gather these Aethersand from Agewood to Scuroglow. The only thing you cannot gather from this method is H-Flow Aethersand. To do that, you actually want to use fishing for predators. I posted that in another video and on my site, and you can check it out if you want. I hope this is helpful for you, and thank you.